What up, what up, what up, good people of the Grayscale? Tim here from the Grayscale podcast. It is 8 p.m. It's 1 minute short of 8 p.m., but it is 8 p.m. on Monday night, which means it's time for 10 Minutes with Tim, where I give you 10 minutes worth of my 2 cents. And speaking of 2 cents, tonight we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about money because I think that there's a lot of people that don't actually understand quite how money works. And that's not anyone's fault. We're never really taught how money works properly. Um, so I'm going to try to condense it down into 10 minutes. First of all, though, I want to say that I am sorry that we didn't have a show this past Friday night. There was an event at my church that I really wanted to go to, so I begged and pleaded with Ray for us to take the week off, and he agreed that we could take the week off and that I could go to that event. So I did, um, and it was a really good time. So yeah, really appreciate that. But to make up for it, I uploaded like 4 new episodes to the podcast and like 4 new episodes onto YouTube yesterday. So there's new stuff for you to go listen to and watch on the YouTube and on the podcast platforms. So go do that. Chickadee, check it out. So now that we've had that cool little intro, let's get into what made me want to do this episode about money. So one of my favorite hip hop artists right now, favorite rap artists right now, goes by the name of Bizzle, and he has a song where he has a line that says he's talking about how about money and how it's kind of all fake and whatnot, and that's actually kind of true. But he has a line where he says, how is $20 worth less than $100? They're the exact same thing with different numbers on them. And he's not wrong about that. They are. They're they look exactly the same. One's a $20 bill, and one's a $100 bill. Other than the face and that, like the numbers on them, they're basically the exact same thing. But this is how you have to think about money because this is how it actually works. Money is the dollar bill is simply an IOU. So what that looks like is if I give you a $20 bill, it means that I owe you 20. If I give you a $100 bill, it means that I owe you 100. So they're not the exact same thing because if I owe you 100 but I give you 20, you're not getting what I owe you. You're getting 20 instead of 100. So people talk a lot about how we should get rid of money and go back to just bartering and trading and that sort of thing, which is all fine and good in theory, except that this is what happens when you have to trade and barter instead of exchange money. Let's say that I grow corn on my farm, and I grow enough corn to feed myself and my family, and then to trade some of that corn for other products that I need, right? And my neighbor grows wheat. And so I grow enough corn that I can trade to him for some of his wheat, the amount of corn that he needs, right? But let's say a time comes where I need wheat, but my neighbor doesn't need corn. What I can either do is say, hey man, what do you need? And he might say, I need squirrel pelts, right? And so I go find somebody who has squirrel pelts, and I say, I have corn, how many squirrel pelts can I get for this amount of corn? And they'll say, all right, well, I'll give you these. And I take those to my friend, my neighbor, and I get wheat in exchange for those squirrel pelts. Or I can say, how about this? You give me the wheat now, and then I'll give you this piece of paper that says I owe you for 50 wheat. And when you need corn, you can come to me and get 50 corn. Or I can come and work on your farm for you in exchange for that 50 wheat, right? So this is what happens in a society where we have money. What happens is I can't produce everything that I need. So personally, I print t-shirts. People give me money, an IOU, for those t-shirts that I can then trade with somebody else, Publix or whoever, for the things that I need. That's all money is an IOU. It doesn't have real value. It's simply an exchange of goods without actually exchanging the goods hand to hand. I give you the goods, you give me a piece of paper. I can take that piece of paper then to anyone else in the community and trade that piece of paper for the thing that I need. It's not rocket science. It's not, money's not this terrible thing that ruins people. It's simply a matter of what do I have that I can trade for the things that I need. For most people, that trade is time. I go to work and I trade my time because I don't produce anything. So I trade my time for this IOU slip that the community recognizes as an IOU. And then I can take that IOU to anyone else in the community and then trade it for the things that I need that I worked my time to get. That's all that it is. That's the simple breakdown of what and how money works. It's not any more difficult than that, except for when you start throwing in things like taxes and things like that, where, you know, they're taking the money from you. But we'll get into that in another episode. But one of the things that people get mad about with money is this thing that people call a living wage, right? That employers should have to pay people an amount that is enough for them to buy all the things that they need. And in a perfect world, that would be true. But we don't live in a perfect world. And if we didn't have money, you still wouldn't be able to produce enough that you produce to trade for all the things that you need, most likely. So you have to kind of wheel and deal and barter and go and work. Maybe you have to you have to produce the thing that you produce, and then you also have to go help somebody else produce the thing that they produce, so that you can get enough, right? So just because we might not have money in a situation doesn't mean that things will get better. You still have to trade your time or your product for other time or products. We just would be taking out the money is essentially a middleman. It's an IOU. It's literally an IOU, and that's that. That's all there is to it. I beg somebody to fight me on that and let me know if they feel differently, because I'm sure that people do. So if you do feel differently about that, let me know in the comments. The comments are going to be down there. Let me know what you find out. And remember that everyone doesn't have the same value to the community, because your value is based upon what you produce. If again, let's go back to the very beginning. If I produce corn and somebody else in the community also starts producing corn, right? Now I have to make a decision. Do I continue to produce corn and compete with this person? Or do I switch it up and try to produce something else that the community needs? If I stick with corn, now my value of my corn ends up going down, and I have to have twice as much or whatever to trade, because they can go to this other guy and he might say, well, I'll give you, I know that Tim over there has been giving you 50 corn in exchange for 50 wheat. Well, I'll give you 60 corn in exchange for 50 wheat, right? So now we have a problem. Like, what do? Do I continue to do corn, or do I go, okay, I'll meet him where he's at and I'll give you 60 corn for 50 wheat as well? But now I have to produce more to get what I need. And so it's the same, it's the same situation now. You have to produce enough of whatever it is that you produce to be able to trade with your community to get the things that you need. That will always, always, always be the case unless we go into some crazy system where everybody gets everything for free, but then who's going to produce all the stuff? You know, who's going to produce things in a free and then everybody gets everything for free system? The answer is nobody. So at its simplest form, all we're doing as a society is trading the thing that we produce and getting something that we can then trade for the things that we need. That's it. It's pretty simple. I hope that if you watched this, that you learned a little bit of something about how money works. And man, like I said, leave a message in the comments. This video will be up on YouTube at some point. The audio will be up on Anchor at some point in the nearest of futures. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Share us with your friends. Please share us with your friends. Leave a review on the Facebook page. Leave a review on your podcast platform that you listen to us on. Leave a review on YouTube. A like, a subscribe. Click the bell so you know when we post new videos. All that kind of stuff. Come back tomorrow night at 8 o'clock for Revelations with Ray, where he's going to talk about I don't know what. And Wednesday night, 10 Minutes with Tim, might have to be earlier because, again, I'm going to an event at my church Wednesday night. And so I'm probably going to do 10 Minutes with Tim before that. And it starts at 7. So I'll probably do 10 Minutes with Tim at like 6:30. I'll try to pull in the parking lot at church at 6:30, do 10 Minutes with Tim, and then go inside. I'll do it from the truck like I've done once or twice before. So tomorrow night's Revelations with Ray is going to be about Will's name. His name is not Will Power, though if my last name were Power, my kid would definitely be named Will. 1,000% true. But it's not. So he's not. If I ever have a kid, he won't be named Will. Will Power, at least. So come back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Revelations with Ray, Will Power. Appreciate you guys hanging out. The Grayscale is going black.